We are Gold Ivy.
Our mission is to empower you to own and unleash your truth.
Stories of resiliency are gold, and ivy grows in hard places.
Those hard places are what creates space for light to shine through.
You decide what works for your daily life and how to transform our lessons into your gold.
This is Ivy Unleashed,
a Gold Ivy production.
We're coming at you with important information, warnings, and a solution. Sharing health and wellness gold with you is what we do. And so when we learned alarming information about devices that we routinely use, and we know you do too, we have to share it with you.
What most people don't realize is that the electronic devices we're using, cell phones, Wi-Fi, laptops, and Bluetooth, emit electromagnetic fields, or EMFs. The devices we're holding by our brains, on our skin, by our reproductive parts are emitting EMFs, and prolonged exposure to EMF radiation has been associated with potential health concerns, including neurological effects, impacts on reproductive health, and sleep disturbances.
Those studies alone are a cause for pause. But also, the International Agency for Research on Cancer that operates under the World Health Organization has classified non-ionizing EMFs produced by electronic products like cell phones, smart devices, and tablets a possible human carcinogen. Yikes.
And our solution? SafeSleeve. SafeSleeve anti-radiation products are designed to give you peace of mind of knowing you and your devices are protected while making your devices even easier to use. All of their anti-radiation products incorporate their lab-tested shielding technology that can block over 99% of RF and 92% of ELF radiation. And that's important because the vast majority of products that claim to block EMF radiation either don't have any testing at all, or they only block a small portion of the harmful frequencies.
We absolutely love the sleek look of these stylish products. They come in a variety of styles and colors. For our phone cases, I picked black, Andrea picked tan, and they include a built-in wallet with RFID protection and a magnetically detachable inner case. They're also anti-radiation products for tablets, iPad, and laptops.
We are pumped because we have been looking for a brand to help protect ourselves and our loved ones from this radiation for months. My kiddos have the iPad cases. Searching for a brand with stylish phone cases, colorful iPad colors, and functional headphones for our workouts so that we can enjoy our devices but also not have to worry about how they're harming us.
And without a doubt, it's time to protect ourselves. Grab your SafeSleeve phone case today and any of their other groundbreaking products at safesleevecases.com and use our code GOLDIVY for 15% off. Keeping the flu and common cold out of your household is important whether you're 5, 35, or 95, and we're going to tell you the easiest and most delicious way to do just that. It's with All Things Elderberry, a woman-owned business that has all-natural, vegan-friendly, and gluten-free elderberry products.
And when we say products, we mean a variety of delicious and beautiful products, not just for you, but for your entire household to get an immunity boost. If we had to pick our favorite product, I'm going with organic elderberry gummies. My kids are obsessed. We're trying to avoid sickness from school and make sure they can participate in their sports, so they take one every morning before they brush their teeth. They think the gummies taste like a mix of grape and cotton candy. I tried them too, and I can see why they ask for them every day. I love that they're boosting their immune system at the start of their day.
My favorite All Things Elderberry product is the elderberry green tea paired with the elderberry honey. The green tea gives me a midday boost, and the honey gives the tea extra sweetness. I also put the honey in my morning coffee instead of creamer. So good. All Things Elderberry is my solution for staying healthy before traveling, avoiding frequent colds and sinus infections, really just maintaining my health all year round.
What sets this brand apart from the others is there are no artificial additives in All Things Elderberry. Their elixir is made with organic, Missouri-grown elderberries, raw honey, and whole spices.
Elderberries not only help with immune support, but may also slow the aging process with their powerful antioxidants, improve skin health, and can shorten the duration of severity of colds and flu.
Visit allthingselderberry.com to explore their full range of immune-supporting products. Stay healthy and feel your best naturally. Use our code GOLDIVY at checkout for 15% off your first order. That's code GOLDIVY at checkout for 15% off your first order. And now to this episode of the Ivy Unleashed podcast.
Welcome back to the Ivy Unleashed podcast. Today is an unhinged episode, and I just want to first off by saying I'm sitting with a marathoner, not just your average marathoner, but a girl who can run a marathon, 2, not just 1, in a week. Both ends of a week. How are you feeling?
I feel a little backwards right now, not going to lie. We are not in our same seats. It's kind of weird to look at you from this angle, but I like it. I'm happy that we've got legs propped up here. You'd think it would be mine from 2 marathons, but Brooke also has had a very eventful time in her life while I was gone.
Yeah, one of us is limping from a marathon and the other one's limping from a vein removal.
So, you know when we say we're like the yin and the yang? Like, this is a perfect example. We just have opposite things going on often.
Yes, you were speeding things up, and I was very much so slowing things down, as we do best. Maybe taking it to a different level.
Yeah.
So if you're not watching on YouTube, highly recommend checking this setup. The show must go on, and I, when sitting, have to prop up my leg. So we are making it work. Today we're going to talk about our weeks, the crazy events that have been going on, and as we do best, give you an inside look at just how outrageous we do life.
Yeah, okay. Well, let's start with your vein. So you didn't think this was going to happen for like months because you were on like a wait list, weren't you?
Yeah, the surgeon was booked 5 months out, and so I mentally was ready to just buckle up and make it work. And then they had a cancellation and could get me in Wednesday. And so I had less than a week notice. Worked out well, didn't have to reschedule anything. I was like, yep, let's do it. Had to be there at 6:30 a.m. for an 8 a.m. procedure. And when I had my other leg done, it was in a clinic. It was pretty low key. No, this one I was fully in the OR, like you see on Grey's Anatomy. Kind of scary, kind of traumatic.
Fully naked.
He was like, yeah, fully naked. I was like, really? They took it very serious, and it was way more painful than I expected. They put numbing cream on you, local anesthesia, but you still feel the catheter being inserted in your leg. It was more just like the feeling than it was painful, but more of the feeling. So catheter up your leg, and then they squirt the glue that seals the vein closed. And then after they squirt it, they have to apply a bunch of pressure so that it sticks. And then at the very end, they're like, okay, you're going to feel a burning sensation. Just go all the way up your leg. Meanwhile, the entire time I'm inverted. So I think what happened was when I then came upright, I had been
like head below heart.
Yes.
Okay.
When I had come upright in the recovery room, I was like, oh my God, I'm going to pass out. The pain, the inversion, all of it was just a little too much for the body. So I had a cold rag on my head, caused a big scene, got some apple juice, some Kind bars. But it was funny because the nurse is like, can I get you something to eat? And I knew, like, I'm nauseous. I need to eat something. And I was like, well, what are my options? Completely gluten and dairy free here. Like, yeah. I'm like, there's nothing they're going to have for me. She's like, oh, graham crackers, these cookies, more crackers. I was like, I'm gluten free. And then she's like, we got Kind bars. I was like, perfect. Then she was trying to give me something to drink. She's like, sometimes like the fizz, the carbonation can help after I was feeling real queasy. I was like, my stomach doesn't do carbonation. I don't do fizz. I was like, I sound like such a brat here. Like, nope, can't do that. Sorry. So I got some apple juice and it hit. The apple juice was great with the Kind bar. I came to it.
That does sound like a good combo.
Yeah, surprising. And then I got a migraine. So I walked out in a lot of pain with my leg. When I get migraines, I get auras, so I can't really see. So that was a
what
trip.
do you mean? Like what's an aura experience?
Like I can't focus on something. So it's like I'd be looking at you, but it's kind of like you're in my peripheral where everything's just like blurry and cloudy and spotty. And that's how I know I'm getting a migraine. So like before the head pain comes on, that happens. And I was like, oh my gosh. And I think it was just the combination of being out of the routine, not really eating, being in pain, the bright lights of this damn OR. So then I went home, had a terrible migraine. Then the migraine subsided. I had terrible stomach cramps. The worst part was every 40 minutes you have to walk 15 to 20 minutes because you don't want a blood clot, and you're retraining your blood flow.
Yeah, that's weird because it's like you're gluing something shut. So obviously it's figuring out a different path to go.
I have had more steps in the past 5 days than probably last month. But I was like going to pass out anytime I got up to walk. So, Ian saw a different side of me, really solidified that I need to marry that man because he took great care of me. But that was Wednesday. By Thursday, I was walking a little better. I still had some weird stomach cramps, and I think it was just like the anesthesia soaks through you. So it still is like foreign, just crap in your body.
Some people just have like a bad reaction to anesthesia. Like it just doesn't, whether it's nausea or lightheadedness or whatever. Like I hear that a lot. Some people are just like really sensitive to it.
And I thought I'd be fine because it was just local. Like it was just, on the spot. But then when I talked to my mom, she's like, well, it's still absorbing in your body. And I was like, oh yeah. So yeah, I'm just Gimpy McGimperson, and it was very helpful that we recorded with Andrea Stone right before, because I'm like, people have gone through way worse things. Mm-hmm. I put on my Eric Thomas Bible app, like get into all the mental health things. It really helped that I'm forced to get up and move. That's always been something that's helped. It's a painful move as I'm hobbling around. But yeah, the compression sock, I had to wear it for 48 hours. She's tight.
I'm glad you're talking about the mental health piece, because I think, I think about this a lot, that how much I rely on physical activity to get me through anger, sadness, frustration, anxiety, like anything that feels uncomfortable in my body. I just know I got to get up and move. Like I got to shake it out, move it out. Like I feel like that's like my somatic way of moving. Like some people dance, some people walk, like I run, and I worry about my mental health if I'm forced to, and being in pain too, on top of it, not just not being able to move, but like being in physical pain, what that does to your mental health.
Yeah, it sucks. However, I feel like when you're at such a low point, at least for me, there's something like, okay, that we can only go up from here. And it forces me to be like, what are other things I can rely on? Like, what do I need to get back to doing? What has worked well in the past? I always go back to that. For me, it's like competing against myself, tracking, having the things that make me feel good. Like I got back to like my top 5 list. Everything just felt so overwhelming. And I'm like, okay, put away the to-do list, get out the physical piece of paper, write down each morning the top 5 things you need to accomplish. That's worked well for me in the past. That has been helpful to get back to. Like I said, Eric Thomas, getting out of my house, being here. I went to Jordan Alicia's on Saturday night, and that was helpful. Just doing all of the things that I know make me feel better and distracting myself.
You're so proactive too. So Alicia is her cousin-in-law, my sister-in-law. And before she even had this procedure, didn't you reach out and say, like, I know I'm going to need to like be around people?
Yeah, I was like, are you guys around this weekend? Can I come over? Because I just knew. Mm-hmm. And Ian was at a bachelor party. So it was nice. Friday night, I was at home and I watched Netflix. I mean, there's just only so much in your bed you can handle. But then it's this weird, like I'm comfortable when I'm in my bed, but then I'm starting to get back pain because I'm in my bed too much.
Yeah.
And then when I walk, it's painful. So distraction, trusting that like this will take. I think that is something that people don't talk about when you're going through surgery, is like, you're just fully trusting. Like I'm just trusting that they're putting this glue in my body. It's going to work and that I'm going to feel better.
Yeah.
What? Excuse me?
Especially too, because it's not like something people talk about. Like everybody's like, what? Like, what are you doing with the vein? Is that safe? Is that normal? Yeah. Like, because what Brooke was telling me that these nurses are saying, like, oh, you're too young for this. You're too young for this to be happening to you. And so like, okay, so it's not normal or typical for a young person to experience this. So you don't hear about it. So it's very rare. Can't like ask your peers about how theirs went.
Yeah. The only thing you can do is just laugh. Like you have to pull out all of the big guns of, I don't have cancer. I'm going to be okay.
Yeah.
I have some solution. you just have to have faith. I think throughout this whole journey, it's getting back to church, reading a devotional, like believing in a higher power, because otherwise you will lose your mind.
Yeah.
I guess kind of what it comes down to is, and believing like the body is resilient. I've done it before on my other leg. People will go through way crazier things and bounce back. It just can't stay stuck. And I've had people, Alicia, Ian, you, that like, I think just being really raw and honest with like, I'm not okay. And people are going to ask. And I think that's the hardest part when you don't understand. Like, I don't know why this is happening. I'm trying to explain as they're explaining to me what they're going to do. Yeah, it's weird, man. But we're getting through it.
Yeah.
Little by little, day by day.
Yeah. Well, you've had a great mindset. And I think it's so important for no matter what you're going through, maybe, most of you probably don't have a vein thing going on, but it's relying on something outside of yourself sometimes. You don't have to do it alone. You don't have to try and be the strong one all the time, and in your life, you've always been the strong one and always persevered or found a way or fill in the blank. And I'm sure a lot of women can relate to that they are the glue. They're the person leading the pack. And sometimes you need to rely on your faith. You need to rely on something outside of yourself that can give you that extra oomph. It's like making me emotional. People in your life, like people want to help you. I think a lot of women need to hear that, especially going into the season we're going into. Brooke and I are wrapping up season 5 and we'll take a little break. And during that time, it's going to be Thanksgiving. It's going to be Christmas. And these are typical times of the year where women get so stressed because the burden is on you to be the magic maker, the one that's thinking about the gifts, the ones that's thinking about how to be thoughtful with your in-laws or your siblings or your children. And I think sometimes we're not okay in the midst of that. Like I know every year I get a little, like I try to get ahead of it. I remember a couple years ago, I was like rage writing out addresses on my Christmas cards, and because it was just like too much.
Maybe you should get a label maker. Talk to Ivy.
No, last year was fine because I helped delegate. I had Blair help me with stamps and like putting things in envelopes, and I leaned on my people, and they can be little people you can rely on, And so I just want to encourage people, no matter what you're going through or how stressed you are about a scenario in your life, is like delegate. Or really think about your energy. Think about like, okay, in this season of life, like what tends to happen to me? Oh, I always get so sick at this time because the holidays are finally over and my adrenaline stopped. And then I finally get that cold because my body's like, okay, so how can we breathe deeper in this season? How can we take care of ourselves? How can we tell people honestly how we're doing and not fake it? Because you're not truly enjoying the time.
And you, this past week, learned how to breathe very deeply at your yoga retreat.
Yes.
Let's talk about that.
Oh my God.
Let's walk through. Let's start with first marathon. Walk us through your week, because my week looked like a lot of glue and Netflix and working with my leg propped up, and yours was a little different.
Yeah, we were on different planets. That is for sure. I was on a couple different planets on this trip. So I took a 9-day trip. Let's talk about something foundational to your family's health that you might not even realize is an issue: your cookware and bakeware.
That's right. We've all heard about clean eating, but what about clean cooking? For years, we've been told nonstick is the way to go for easy cleanup, but what if that convenience comes at a cost to your health?
Exactly. Our friends at Caraway have an origin story that really hit home for us. Their founder, Jordan Nathan, experienced what's called Teflon flu after accidentally overheating a traditional nonstick pan. It turns out it only takes 2.5 minutes for those pans to hit 500 degrees Fahrenheit and start releasing toxic chemicals.
And the problem is, these aren't just any chemicals. We're talking about PTFE, also known as Teflon, and microplastics that can leach directly into your food that you're preparing for your family.
These are forever chemicals, folks. They enter the body and can take decades to leave, potentially leading to serious health risks like cancer or respiratory issues. Reading the research from the American Cancer Society and Good Housekeeping Institute was a wake-up call to realize what might be hiding in our kitchens.
And that's where Caraway comes in. They're on a mission to craft well-designed home goods that truly raise the standards of what you cook with. They've meticulously thought through every single detail, from the unboxing experience to how their products store in your home. The look, the feel. We're in a season where less is more. It's better for your health. It's better to look at. You've seen Caraway everywhere, and it's for a reason.
I went with the squareware and cookware set. Not only is it beautiful, but the relief I feel knowing the daily pancakes, pasta, and protein I'm heating up isn't causing harm to my kiddos is priceless.
Caraway has revolutionized kitchenware by offering a non-stick ceramic coating that's mineral-based. That means no toxic materials leaching into your healthy ingredients. It's easy to use, easy to clean, and you don't have to worry about those forever chemicals.
So if you're ready to remove harmful microplastics and toxic chemicals from your family's meals and truly elevate your cooking experience, it's time to switch to Caraway.
Head over to their website today. You can find the link in our show notes. And for a special thank you to our listeners, use code GOLDIVY at checkout for 10% off your Caraway products. Make the switch for a healthier you and a healthier home.
Who wants to know what I discovered that's an absolute game changer with my hormones, stress level, and quality of my sleep? I am not one to talk about supplements, but after learning all about magnesium, I have to fill you in. In May of last year, I tested my hormones and my doctor explained to me that most women are deficient in magnesium, how important magnesium is, and how the brand of magnesium matters. First, magnesium is involved in hundreds of biochemical reactions in your body. Cortisol regulation, take magnesium. Better sleep, magnesium. Muscle soreness and recovery, magnesium. Combat depression and anxiety, magnesium. The list of magnesium's benefits go well beyond those examples. I asked for the best brand of magnesium and my doctor said hands down, Smidge. She prefers Smidge because it's super clean and made in small batches. No fillers or common allergens and non-GMO. Smidge's magnesium is made with a premium form of magnesium called glycinate complex. After taking the 100 milligram capsule of Smidge Evening Magnesium every night for just a week, I noticed how much better I felt in the morning. Melatonin and other sleep aids can make me groggy or give me weird dreams. Smidge's magnesium has improved my energy levels, reduced my anxiety, and my digestive health has never been better. I do my best to take it every single night to keep reaping all the benefits. I'm telling you, Smidge Magnesium is a game changer. The majority of adult women are deficient in magnesium, and we don't want you to be one of them. To experience the health benefits of Smidge Evening Magnesium as soon as possible, go to getsmidge.com or find the link in the show notes and be sure to use code GOLDIVY10 for a 10% discount. That's getsmidge.com and code GOLDIVY10 at checkout and let us know how great Smidge Magnesium makes you feel as well. I took a 9-day trip and there's a marathon on each end of it. So I needed to get there the day before the first one and the day after the second one, each on a Saturday. First one in New Hampshire, second one in Connecticut. And spoiler alert, I completed them both. Woo! So 28 states done, 22 to go. But the first one was in New Hampshire, and my best friend Britt joined me there. She ran the half, I ran the full. And New Hampshire is so beautiful. It's also very hilly, especially where I was. I was in Bristol, New Hampshire, and we basically ran around this massive lake, which they have moose there. So there's like a sign to look out for moose.
That's fun.
I know. I was like,
would it be meese?
Am I in Alaska? No, it's not meese, but that's a great question. Yeah, so we went to this tiny town. I didn't realize how small it was because they had such beautiful pictures and marketing that was so beautiful that I was like, oh my gosh, this is going to be stunning. It was total between all the racers. There was 800 people there. And we go into this little middle school where there's like 2 tables to check in, which was just adorable. And everybody was so sweet. And then we went to a potluck dinner, which is like kind of risky, could get some bacteria. Or, you know what people are putting in your food.
At the middle school?
At the Masonic Temple, a couple blocks away. A very creepy old building that was like rickety and it felt like it was haunted. But
what made you go here?
Well, it was just an option. And like Britt's tendency is to like be kind of shy. And I think she wanted to challenge herself to like meet people while she was there. Okay. And she was really trying to push herself out of her comfort zone on that end. And then my job to go out of my comfort zone was being silent during breakfast at the yoga retreat. So that marathon was, that Bristol is beautiful, and meeting people there, they were so sweet, so friendly. But the race, I was in the middle of the race and I yelled to the spectators, like, this is not a course. This is a roller coaster and I need a helmet. Like, I'm coming down this steep hill and trying not to fall. And then I'm going up this, I can't even see the end of the top of this hill. It is that high and curving and just going up and up and up. I'm like,
help.
Is this a joke? Like, this is why I don't look at courses, because I would have been so anxious.
See, I think that's wild. And I think that's a question that people have is why not look at, because you could pick any marathons in the state for it to count.
Well, so this is the thing. My schedule is limited when I can do a marathon. It is. I go around dance competitions, soccer games, gymnastics, bridal showers, weddings. I mean, I learned this trip. My life is going 6,000 miles an hour and I pack it full. And that's like my default mode is to pack it full. It's also
up until now.
But this week, I knew this week would work before I had my kids scheduled for this time. But I wanted to line one up a week apart. And October is such a busy time to have marathons. So is April, but April's full of dance competitions. So I'm like, okay, October, it's right after my birthday. I want to prove to myself, after I turn 40, Mama still got it. She can run 2 marathons in a week. I've never done that before. And so that's why I picked. And then when it comes to the courses, sometimes I look at reviews and if it says like, oh, it's super flat, I'm like, yep, let's do it. But if it's the only one that falls in a different state in the same week.
That's what you prioritize.
Yes. And the reason I don't look at the course is because I can't control that anyway. My training, sure, I could throw in more hills or whatever, but the Elm Creek Park Reserve is full of hills. And so it's the best I'm going to get. I'm not going to go like train in some other state. Yeah. It's not that big of a deal. And I like surprises and I like to see what I'm made out of. And I like to like face what comes to me when it comes. Because if I saw those hills, I would have been so anxious. I was already anxious enough because I put a lot of pressure on myself. 1, to see if I could do this. 2, the money and the time away from my family. And like to think of not finishing either of those was like heartbreaking and heart-wrenching to me. It made me really nervous because I did miss some things while I was gone. And being at Kripalu, the yoga retreat, so that's the next thing we did. It's like you're focusing on what matters most to you in your life. You're meditating. You're getting calm in your body. You're thinking about what you want to do with each day and who you want to be with. And all I'm thinking about are my kids and my husband. And just how...
Did I cross your mind at all?
Yes, absolutely. I texted you like any chance I got back to my phone. I was thinking about you too. But I was so happy about what we're doing with our life. You know, it's such a short period of time to be on this planet. And a big part of Kripalu is honestly gratitude for this earth that we are on. Like the chances that we are on this planet, you know, that has gravity and like we can breathe the air. I know it sounds so, but it is wild that we get to live here. And, they talk a lot about taking care of the earth and being grateful for Mother Earth and getting outside and enjoying the weather. We're on this big hill and, you can see the lake, you can see all the beautiful colors. And so it was such a perfect thing to do after a marathon and before another one because it forces you to slow down. So you get to this place. It kind of looked like a campus, like a college camp. It kind of had rehab vibes, to be honest. It was like, it was like, hospital / dorm room vibe.
I imagine they would have similar aspects to rehab of taking care of yourself, classes.
Yes. And a lot of
meetings.
people, I feel like, go there to grieve. We did an intention setting class the first night, and a lot of people, it was like a transitional time for them. Kids just left the house for college and they've never thought about themselves. They're leaving a marriage or they're grieving and they're in a new, like, how do I live this life without this person? It is very much a place to go be able to hear your own thoughts, grieve, decide what you want to do with your life. Just
what were their reactions when you said, I'm transitioning from one marathon to another?
I didn't really share that. I actually, in the intention setting class, it was kind of more of brainstorming of like, what does setting an intention mean? And, what are we doing here? And how can we use this time to benefit us? It was more like silent reflections you wrote in your journal. Some people shared a little bit. And I think everybody was so uncomfortable at the beginning that I shared like what I thought intention setting was, and then I didn't want to be the one like constantly raising my hand. So allowed other people to kind of share. And then that was more of like time to be vulnerable for them. And Britt, who I was with, tends to be like less open than me like that. And I was like trying not to take over that space for her. I was trying to like see if she would, be brave and open up or speak up. And she did. And it was so awesome because I think my tendency is to do the marathon thing and hers is to do this thing, but that place stretches you. And there was opportunities all day from 6 a.m. to 8:30 p.m. to do something, but nobody's saying to you like, who's coming? Class is starting. It's like, no, you could go there and sleep the whole time. Nobody cares where you are.
Yeah.
They're like,
you do you.
Yeah, you do you. There's time for lunch. There's time for breakfast. Breakfast is silent.
Yeah. How did that go? Let's pause there. Did you do it?
I did it. And I loved it. I craved it.
Ooh.
Because, okay, so picture your day. Everybody, you're in your routine. This is just, you wake up, there's noises everywhere, there's sounds everywhere, there's people in your house, there's your phone, you're grabbing it right away, you're looking at all the things. Imagine your day starting. You have an option for a class if you want to take it. You want to get up and do some yoga. You could do beginner. You could do intermediate. Or you could learn about something because there's a class for that too right away. Then there's meditation. So this is like the Ayurvedic order of operations is what we're doing during the day. So then you meditate before you're eating anything.
So you move, meditate, eat.
Yes.
Okay.
And all of this, you're not talking. You're moving your body obviously to get things going, your digestive system going, your brain going, your circulation, all of the things. Then you're sitting and you're just allowing silence and nobody's opinions, ideas, voices, moods, energy affect yours because no one's talking to you. And you're not looking at your phone because you don't have it. It's in your room. You're not carrying it anywhere. Each room, it was like, no phone zone. Also, no shoe zone. And before you go in any room, you take off your shoes. Some people had socks on, but most people were barefoot the whole time. And so then you go get your breakfast. Nobody's talking in this big room of grabbing your meal and then sitting at a table, which like it's this open room with like this windows that look at the trees and the lake. And it's fine because that's just like 10 minutes. You're just focusing on the food. And it's not like it takes forever because you're just eating because the food's so delicious. But you're not staring at your phone and letting other people's ideas, opinions, thoughts come into your mind. You're just breathing and enjoying your food slowly. And it was awesome. And I did it this morning and it was wonderful. I like thought about how I wanted to keep sleeping, but I was like, no, I want silence. You can breathe in that. It's just like this breath, this belly breath, in meditation, all the meditation, the times of meditation that I had, they start with like just reminding you how to breathe because a lot of people don't know how to breathe, including myself.
Until now. And even just thinking of breathing deeply enough that your belly creates space because we suck in all day and we're having these shallow breaths. And we're going through life so fast, all of this noise, our shallow breath, then we're drinking coffee, pouring kerosene on the fire, and then we're looking at social media, and then we're speeding down the highway, and then we're running late, and then we're getting our kids, and we're telling them to hurry up, and then we're going to the next activity, and then we're getting home, and then they probably should shower, and then you've got to make a meal, but you want them to eat nutritiously, and then, oh my gosh, there's homework. They need to practice their saxophone. Wait, we need to calm down. We need to slow down before bed. How do we even do that? Like, it's wild. And then you do it again. And it's just, I know these things. I've always said, like, my morning time is sacred as a parent, but like, I'm also choosing to have lots of noise all of the time. I'm choosing to go on social media. I'm choosing
to look at other people's opinions on their stories and see who stands with what. And it's like, it was so nice to turn it off.
Yeah. So what do you want to incorporate back home?
Ooh, I wrote this down. I should get my journal.
Yeah. Please pause.
So I wrote down the things I want to bring back with me into my life, and nothing's rocket science, but I was really intentional while I was there to journal, because to capture, like, it felt like I was on another planet. And I didn't want to lose any of the things I was like feeling, because it felt so good. And like, I want to incorporate more of this with my kids, and we do meditation at night, but like just belly breathing in the midst of like a story that's really stressful. Like, okay, let's just take a minute and have a breath before we even like get into this, you know? Mm-hmm. Okay. So I said, I want to take this slower pace back with me. I want to find silence and breathe in it. That was really important for me to write down. Find silence and then breathe into the silence. I want to look at the stars and moon more. Oh my gosh, they were so bright. It looked like the sun was out. It was gorgeous up there. I want to listen more. I want to try new classes for my mind and body. Let me circle back to that one. Whew. I want to focus on a smaller circle, but deeper. I want to set intentions and aim without perfection required. And I want to stay focused on what matters most. Yeah, all of that felt really important to write the last day. I was sitting on the swing outside, like overlooking this beautiful space. And I'm just like, I want to bring this back with me. It feels so good. I want more people to experience this. And I know we talk about it. Like, we do remind people a lot to slow down. But I want to challenge everybody to like really find some time. And it can be small, but like to breathe into silence, to like just like listen to your body. What does it need? Is there something like literally physically calling for your attention? Is it a relationship that's calling for attention? Is it just taking some time for yourself, and then you can expand that time into whatever it is that you need? It's so important. And what stretched me the most at this place was like so unexpected, because what I thought I would crush it at, because like I'm competitive, I'm like, what am I going to be good at this place? And I saw there was yoga dance on the calendar. I was like, yeah, that's going to be mine. I'm going to twerk in there. I'm going to know how to bust out the choreography, whatever they throw at me. I'll be so good at it.
Nope. Not choreographed.
No
choreographed.
Oh my gosh. There was this instructor. His name was Yuval, and he leads retreats all over the world. And we're in this class. It's like this old cathedral, like high vaulted ceilings, open windows, and there's music bumping, which is weird because everything was so quiet.
Okay.
And he is wearing a cat tank top that looks like a cat face, busy shorts, and this silk short sleeve but long robe that's flowing behind him with long curly black hair, a beard, and
he's a vibe.
He is a vibe. I cannot wait to show you videos of Yuval. He is roaming around this room, and he's talking with his headset on, and we're coming in a little early to like, okay, do we need a mat for this? Do we need, like, where we're going to stand, sit, whatever. He's like, you don't need anything. Just come on in. And he's already moving. He's already like shimmying, moving, jumping, just being this eccentric like thing you can't stop watching. And Britt and I are like kind of giggling because he is such this like creature of like light and vibrancy that we've never experienced in a room before.
And it's like making you uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's making you uncomfortable, and you're kind of giggling. And he's like, are you two going to laugh at me out, class? And I was like, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to laugh, but just the way he was moving, what he was wearing, what he was saying, because he's very funny and he knows it. But he says, you all look like, there at this point are like 20 people in the room, more people are coming in. He's like, you all look like you're waiting for something. Like, the music's on. Just start moving. And so we're like,
awkwardly bopping,
just so like we're supposed to be moving, but like people that are coming in, we don't know, like, they don't know what's going on. We don't know what's going on. So we're just kind of standing in place, moving, bopping. And he's like, people are coming in, just take up space, move around the space, like feel into the music. Like, who cares? Just feel into it. And he kept saying like, who cares? And I'm like, okay, I feel like I need to care less. Like, I need to like just get out of my head, because you're like looking at other people. How are they moving? Mm-hmm. Where are they moving? Like, do I look cute in what I'm doing? Do I look weird? Do I look dumb? And
are there mirrors?
There's no mirrors.
Okay.
And so then the class is kind of starting and it's literally just moving for an hour straight, however you want. And songs change like maybe every couple minutes. So it's definitely a different vibe. And at one point we went through like earth, wind, water, fire.
Okay.
The different movements. So one was like a slower and we had like scarves that, you know, you could like flow through water with or whatever. And so you're literally like, this feels so weird. And at one point I got kind of emotional because I was like, I was so uncomfortable, but so grateful for something that was going to stretch me this hard.
Yeah.
Because I'm like nervous. I'm in my head. I'm feeling embarrassed. I'm feeling like, what am I supposed to be doing? You know, like It was such an overwhelming feeling that stretched me that I just felt like this is what I came here for. Like,
and then what happened after?
Well, there was a moment in the class I finally got some confidence because what he did was so hilarious and fun. He was like, okay, queens, this is your runway. And Madonna's Vogue comes on and it's like the remix version. He has us pretend we're all on heels and we are strutting through the room, like snapping at people and getting all sassy. And it was like, it was more structured, something I could like actually put my like a pin on what I'm supposed to be doing. And then he had us all come back to the back of this huge long room, 2 at a time, strut up the runway. And then when you get to that end, he would be like, and pose, and pose, and pose. And I was like, oh, I can do this. This is fun. And so, and you're pretending you're on heels. Oh my gosh, it was so fun. And then it kept going. And then I looked at the clock after that. I'm like, we have to be almost done. 20 more minutes. And it was just like, people on the ground. People are making noise. He's like, make some noise. Like,
what kind of noises?
Like, wow. Or like, he was like, bark like a dog. I don't care. Do whatever you want. Like, do whatever you want. Do what comes. Do what feels good. And it was like,
bark like a dog.
Seriously, it was so freeing and so exhilarating because it was so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And he just gave me the freedom to be like, literally, who cares? Like, you're on the planet for such a short time. Like, move your body how you want and like express yourself however, like, what is it you have to say? What is it? How do you want to move through life? Like, it just was so symbolic of like, oh my God, I am in such a little bubble in a little box in a little world of mine, you know? And then I followed him on Instagram when I got back to my room last night. I have to see the way this guy lives. He's like going to Portugal next. He's going to like Brazil next. Like, he's all over the world. And so
gosh,
that was like what really stretched me. We did like some classes where I learned about Ayurvedic practices and massage and like seasonal self-care with Ayurvedics, which was so cool.
So cool.
There was all kinds of classes you could take. And then there was just like a room you could go read in. And like went in there a couple times. I went outside and just like laid in the grass. We went for a walk down to the lake. It was just like
slow.
It was so slow time. I was there 2 nights, not even 3 full days. And it felt like a full week. And not in like it drug on, like it just, we were so present in the moments that like time went the rate it's supposed to go. Not like,
yeah,
you know.
And I probably showed you, like you alluded to, how busy and how much you cram. And that's normal. Like, it feels weird to slow down. Most people can relate to that.
And you'll be proud of me. I did yoga 4 times while I was there.
She hit her yearly quota. Folks.
Seriously. It was so much, but it didn't feel like it was like, you know, the day after my marathon, I did a beginner one and then I did an intermediate one and the dance one was technically yoga, I guess. And then the last day was like, I had straps. I was in all kinds of weird positions. So I was like, I feel like I did a lot of different types of yoga.
Yoga's whatever you need it to be.
Yeah.
Wow. That is my cup of tea.
It really,
I'm
like
jealous.
You will be there. I bet you'll be there within a year or 2. Yeah. You're going to be like,
maybe it's a quarterly adventure. I would love that. Because to your point, you were there 2 days and you got so much out of it.
Yes.
And I think people, when they think of retreats, it's like, I have to go a full week. And
no.
It's like maybe a couple days is just enough for what you need.
It really is. It was wonderful. I loved it.
I'm excited to see how this shows up in your day to day.
I know. Me too. Yeah, just getting back, it's like, okay, we got to get reorganized, but like, I don't feel like rushed to do anything now, you know? Yeah, feels good. I'm going to breathe better, breathe deeper.
Belly breaths.
Yep. So
and
that
then
was
you
like,
carried that into New York City.
Then I went to New York City and had a wild night. It was polar opposites because it was just so much stimulation. Late night. There was alcohol. Wicked on Broadway. It was awesome in a completely different way, you know? And driving in the city and all that, which I loved. I love driving, and that was so fun to be in New York City. And then slowed back down before marathon number 2 or marathon number 28. And that was very different because it was like 10,000 people. Not as hilly, thank God. Qualified for Boston. And my body, everybody was so worried about my body. Like, how's your body feeling going into this? Like, are you going to be able to do this? Like, how are you feeling? You said the first one was really hard. Like, you feeling like you can do this? And I felt so ready. I felt like my legs were fresh.
They weren't sore.
They weren't sore.
Wow.
But I did yoga, a lot of yoga after, and I did a lot of movement. Britt and I went hiking the same day of the marathon after it was done. So I think key is actually to keep moving, keep stretching, because other marathoners that haven't done this, most people don't, back-to-back weeks, were very curious about it. And I felt absolutely 100% physically ready to go.
Okay.
And ready to I think too, because I knew, and you even texted me this way, I was like so ready to be back with my children that it was like, this is the thing I got to do to get home to them, that I was like, I'm going to crush this one, you know? And I did. Like, it was also ideal weather conditions. It was like 50 at the start, 65 at the finish, like partly cloudy, not too sunny, not too hot. And for my marathoners listening, this is my new thing that I do during marathons. And this is, I'm so happy I do this now. You go to the aid station and there's always electrolytes and water. Okay. And you need both, but you drink all the electrolytes, then you have some water after to wash it down, but only drink half the water and then pour the second half of the water down the back of your neck and down your back. Make sure wherever your phone is, you move it to the front. Pour it down your neck and back. It will cool your body temperature down. Oh my gosh. And then I look so forward to doing that again on the next one, because for the next half a mile, I've almost had goosebumps, and it cooled myself down and it felt so good.
It's like a little ice plunge.
Yes.
Cold plunge.
Oh my gosh. And it was it was just something to look forward to besides the drink of it.
Okay.
That sensation and that cooling, that's my new move. Oh my gosh.
Okay.
And whenever they had the water extra full, because they should only fill it up a little bit, I was like, yes, more down my back, more down my neck.
People watching are like, okay.
Yep. Well, because the first marathon, I was overheating. It didn't start till 9 a.m., which is too late for a marathon to start. It should start at 7, 8 at the latest.
Get her done.
Get it done. Go there when you're blacked out, tired still. You're so out of it. You run half a marathon and you're just waking up. And Bristol started at 9. And it was hot. It was almost 80 degrees when I finished. And you know how I hate the heat.
Yeah. It was better to end it how you did.
Yes.
The way that the marathons panned out.
Yeah. So we got some questions from the listeners, which is awesome because we don't know what you want to know. We can guess what you want to know. So the first question I got on 2 marathons in 1 week was, what type of fuel do you use on the course? So I use the Honey Stingers little gummies, pomegranate, so good. And what I do is I pack them in a Ziploc bag instead of the bag it comes in. So I can open and shut it because I put it in with my phone too, and I don't want to get sticky stuff on anything. And I always pack 2 ibuprofen because I have had a marathon where my knee felt like there was a knife stabbing me, and ibuprofen saved the day. So I put 2 ibuprofen in there, and I pack a gummy for every 3 miles and then 2 extra for good measure. So every 3 miles, 3, 6, 9, 12, all the way up to 26, I take one. But at the very end, when I feel myself feeling oh my God, I need a little more fuel, I'm feeling off, I'm feeling lightheaded, I just pop another one in. So that's what I do with fuel. And then, like I said, drinking the electrolytes on the course, drinking the water on the course. A lot of times my body is craving one or the other. If I just had a gummy, it really wants water. So sometimes I skip the electrolytes, but in a lot of marathons have been off with nausea at the end. And that is my cue that I did not have enough electrolytes. So I try not to skip them. Even though I'm not craving them, I try to have a little bit.
Better safe than sorry.
Do you believe in the 2 to 3 day carb load? No / yes. And this is why. For me, I love carbs. I love pasta, and it brings me joy, and it makes me feel like I'm preparing for a race. And it's like almost a tradition. It's almost like just what everybody does, and that's what we think we need to do. Mm-hmm. I definitely think there needs to be protein in, and I definitely think you need a lot of vegetables. I've seen, I experimented with this in 2020 by having a lot more veggie heavy foods around the race, and it was like my best recovery of any race, and it was really hard in Wyoming. So I do believe you need carbs. I definitely don't think it needs to be 3 days ahead of time that you're going to use that. Like your body will metabolize that. But for me, it makes me happy because I love pasta. Okay. What are your tips for overcoming mental blocks during those long training runs / marathons to not want to quit? Okay. This is a good question.
Let's hear it.
Yeah. So for me, I decide ahead of time what that distance is going to be, and I hardly ever budge from that. So if I decide I'm going to run 5 miles, I'm running 5 miles, unless it's like I'm losing vision or I'm going to shit my pants or something. Like if I'm physically like body screaming, no, 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 in that capacity where I'm literally losing vision, or my digestive system is like, no, thank you. You have to walk or you're going to shit your pants. I will stop. But besides that, I decide. And I think that's part of like my confidence as a runner is that I follow through. I'm a person that follows through. Whatever it is, I'm following through with it. And that includes mileage. And so that's something that I think why I like being a runner too. It builds my confidence as a person because I'm showing myself in so many ways. Even if it's 2 miles, I do 2 miles. And I never run 1.99. I run 2.02. You know, it's like you always go a little bit farther. And so I don't think that you can ever run 20 miles plus without wanting to quit. Like that's going to happen. That is natural. I have intrusive thoughts during marathons. Like, what if I just went over to this beach here in New Hampshire that I see people chilling on and splashing in the water and just like, nobody cares if I finish this race that's here right now. You know, no one's watching me. I don't have any fans that I'm letting down, you know, besides after the race, I'd have to call and tell my family, but, things hurt, your body hurts and you get tired. So of course your brain is saying like, I want to be done. Oh my gosh, I have 8 more miles. I've already ran 18.
You go through every emotion.
Yes.
Every emotion.
Yes. And I think what helps me overcome that is thinking I just have to get through this mile. Like it's so daunting to think of, oh my gosh, I still have 10 more miles and I'm feeling this like running 16 miles is far and then you have 10 more. And a big thing that helps me is math. So I always am calculating the percentage that I have done. And in my mind, the pie chart is lighting up a specific color. And then once I'm to halfway, like I'm always trying to get to that halfway. I'm like, okay, 2/3, okay, 3/4, you know, and I'm calculating that in my brain. And if I can't do the calculation, because I am good at math, it's also an indicator that I need more blood sugar. I need to have another gummy. But thinking of that percentage helps me interacting with someone watching, like actually saying something to someone like, thanks for being here. Or I always thank police officers that are doing something to protect me on the race. It gives you a surge of energy. Thinking of gratitude, channeling a child of yours or someone that you know is cheering you on, someone that's texting your phone or your watch helps so much to think of them. So like Brooke texts me like, you've given birth to 3 kids. You can do this. You know, I just think of Brooke and I just like think of what she's brought to my life. And like, she is in her world right now, sending me energy. Like I'm going to use that energy and I'm going to put another foot in front of the other, you know? And it's so hard, like when you're at mile 22 and you have 4 more and you are so ready to be done, time crawls. It is going the slowest it's ever gone. And I just don't think, I think when you're in that moment, you just have to think about getting to the next mile marker. distract yourself with looking at your pace, distract yourself with looking at something else. Like channel the song that's playing. You know, I have a fourth quarter playlist. I always tell my clients this, I have a fourth quarter playlist. When you hit 20, you get to play that playlist. And so that gets me to 20. And I'm always thinking, I don't know how I'm going to feel till I get to 20. I don't know what my finish time is going to be till I get to 20. I'll have a better idea then. I'll get to play my playlist that really amps me up. So those are some of my techniques.
Yeah. I feel like you need those little tools in your toolkit to keep you going and to not let your mind win. Like for me, gamifying it really helped, of like each mile playing a little game with yourself, the gratitude, for me, every mile I picked a self-limiting belief, and then I just fed myself the opposite of why that wasn't true.
That's a good one.
Right? Like really getting your motivation, playing motivational things. YouTube, you can listen to YouTube. It might kill your battery, but there's so much. There's on Spotify, there's motivational stuff.
Yeah.
Like what actually lets you feel like a beast playlist.
And you learn that in your training too. You'll be like, okay, this song ain't it. Or I tried listening to a sermon one time when I was running. I'm like, this ain't it. Like I need music. I need a beat that like gets me going. A song
Pumps
that's,
you up.
yeah, for sure. Music is so powerful.
Yeah.
And some people, they like to raw dog it and just like, and some races you actually can't use music.
Some
it's like
people are psychotic.
cheating. But I'd say use it to your advantage. You know, if you're not a professional athlete, like that it's illegal in your race, like let music help you.
Yeah.
Let it get you across that finish line. And I got really emotional. I didn't see it coming. Like I didn't realize how anxious I was the night before State 28. I felt it. I was at dinner with my cousin Lindsay and she's trying to talk to me and I like cannot catch my breath. Like it's feeling like my heart's racing. I got up and I moved my body. I'm like, I got to go to the bathroom. I don't actually have to go to the bathroom, but I'm going to go to the bathroom to move out of this room and just take a deep breath in the bathroom. And I was putting so much pressure on me because I had spent so much time away from my family, all this money, and it just, you know, I missed out on some things. And I was like, God, if I don't finish this, like, I'm going to be so disappointed in myself. Or like, I don't have to make that phone call. And it was kind of like catastrophizing, like if that were to happen without like expressing it to Lindsay. And I was telling her, like, I'm feeling really nervous right now. Or she could notice my breathing and she would be like, you're going to be okay. You know you can do this. She was trying to help me so much or distract me by talking about something else. So thanks, Linz.
I mean, it's a huge accomplishment what you did. So I know everyone wants to know, would you do it again?
Oh, yeah. I want to do all of them like this. Like,
okay.
But I want to bring my family with me.
Okay.
Or I have at least have them meet me halfway if they don't want to make them miss a whole week of school. But yes, this is the way to do it.
It
like,
was
financially
fun that you had someone with you the first race, someone new with you the second race.
Yes.
Like it was a good way to spend quality time with people.
Yes.
See Wicked, New York City, a yoga retreat.
Like what?
How many things you crammed in 1 week is insane.
Incredible. And I think like the pinnacle moment was in Hartford, Connecticut. They have this, like, it looks like a castle. It's like this arch that you run through as you're going to the finish line. So that's where you can finally see the finish line. And it's lined up. It has 2 lanes, left side for half marathon finishers and right for marathon. And it's lined with mums, these beautiful mums all the way to the finish line. It was so beautiful. I come through this arch and the announcer is like, Andrea Herbert coming out from Minnesota. And I was like, made it so real that I did it, that it was like I was finally there. Because until you see that finish line, you're like, is it ever gonna come? Like that, you know, that last mile feels like 17. It is the longest mile
Ever.
And when he said my name and when I saw it, I just was like, oh my God, I actually did this. Like, oh my God. And I was so proud of myself because I didn't realize how much I was doubting myself until I was at that spot and heard my name. And I think maybe one other time I've cried at a finish line, but it felt so good. And it was like, okay, now you get to go home. You get to show your kids both medals. Like, I just want them to be so proud of me. And my neighbor, Abby, like shortly after I finished, she was like, hey, I saw Cora and Griffin and they were over by my house. So I talked to them and they're so proud of you, Andrea. They were like talking about you and so excited to see your medals. And that just like made everything worth it, you know? So Yeah. I'm glad it's done. And then I know I can do it. And I definitely would do that again.
And she's going to do it again. You heard it here first, folks.
Who's coming with me? So I'm flicking tears from my eyes. Who wants to run 2 marathons in a week again? Because this is the way to do it.
I can't. I'm out.
Would you run a marathon again?
Lord, no. No. I really don't think so. I would do a yoga retreat.
Oh, yeah.
I would do that. But I am one who changes their mind. I've learned that about myself. And so I never say never.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. And you've done it. Like, you know.
Yeah.
You've
Therefore,
got
I don't know if I need to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do see myself, though, rocking it out and, like, the comeback, pushing my body to new limits.
Ooh, what does that mean for you? Tell me more.
I'm just really excited to get back to classes, back to the gym. You know, when you don't have something, you realize how much you miss it.
Like, what do you picture when you're like, okay, I want to be able to, that will feel so good when I'm doing that?
I think just right now it's consistently working out, like accomplishing a week of moving my body. And then after that, I don't know. Right now, feeling at peace in my body and not pain, but like a good pain, like I just worked out versus like, what is going on?
Self-induced pain, like I wanted this.
Yes.
I created this. You know, when you're saying that, it's making me go back to Kripalu, where a big thing a resounding phrase I heard, and not just through people speaking, but through anything we were doing, was be here now. Like, be here now. And a big part of that is self-compassion. That was something that I took from, I can't remember which yoga class, but it was like being with yourself in a softer, gentler way of all that you've been through and all that you're currently experiencing. Like, that sucks, Brooke. Like, you love moving and you're so good at, like, I talk about you as a yoga instructor all the time. Like, you're so powerful in what you do. And thank God you can instruct without having to move. But I know you want to be able to have the freedom to do what you want. But being with yourself in it and just allowing yourself to grieve that you can't move right now, and allowing yourself to feel what it is that you want. Like, and like, I like that you're not thinking too far ahead. You're kind of being here now. Like, the next move is just being able to regularly move, you know, and it's such great advice for anybody. Like, where are you? Have some self-compassion for all that you're carrying, for all that you're doing, for all the dreams that you have that you've put on hold. Or like, I'm just so emotional thinking about like being with yourself in this moment and allowing yourself to just feel what it is that you're feeling. And then when you're ready to do something about it, you know, you don't always have to take action. Sometimes it's like just having compassion for yourself in that moment. You know?
Yeah. And I always look at like the deeper meaning of it, of like, what is this season of life showing me? You know, like for me, it's pulling back the arrow and deciding where is my target. Because as I'm listening to these motivational things and talking about dreams and, you know, my target is always changing. And so as we close out this year and enter new year, it's exciting of like, what is the dream that I want to go after? What does that look like for me right now, where I can be healthy with it and I can have a regulated nervous system as I'm going after this dream? And I think it's okay to say, and I want everyone listening to hear that, like, right now, I'm not sure. Like, I know what lights me up, but I feel like I'm searching for what is that next thing, whether it be the race or the accomplishment. And then I'm also toying the idea with, like, does there need to be one? Like, can I be okay with being in this season of getting back home to me and feeling powerful in my body before I need that outside accolade?
Well, you said being at peace with yourself with a regulated nervous system, like that can be the target. Because that could mean a lot of different things. And if it doesn't bring you to that feeling that you're wanting, you're off course.
Right. It's just this weird realization I'm having of like, for the longest time as we started with this business, it was, oh, I want to be a motivational speaker. I want to be the #1 yoga teacher, and I want that to fuel me and to guide me. I want to have this much money. And now I'm like, what if I just want to be at peace and do the things that I love? Like, can that be enough to fuel me to bring me to the top of my game?
But that is the top of the game. So it's like just a new way of looking at it. Like, that's what everybody wants, because they get the accolades, they get whatever, and then they don't have the peace and fulfillment and the regulated nervous system. So if that's your aim, how can you it's just this awakening that I'm having. Like, I'm listening to Eric Thomas, right? And he's like, I want to be Nobel Peace Prize, and I want to be the #1 motivational speaker. And I'm like, he's getting me jacked and excited, but I'm like, I don't have that one thing that I'm after. And then that internal voice, God, whatever, is like, why do you have to? Like, what if you don't? And I'm like, So I'm just sitting with this feeling of, because that's really ego. Like, that's ego being like, I'll be #1. Like, I'm better,
But there is something that gets you awake. That gets you out of bed in the morning, right? Yeah. And so I am trying to find that for me right now of like, when I don't have the motivation, like what is something outside of myself what is it that I'm after? And
what comes to mind for me when I think about that for myself is it needs to be something that stretches you and gives value to other people, because that's what creates fulfillment. That's how you're proud of yourself and you're providing value into the world. So you have fulfillment. You know what I mean? So you have that balance of like, I like who I am and I like what I'm doing because it aligns with what I love to do and it's helping, so whatever it does to stretch you, it could be physical, because the healthier you are, the more you'll be able to help people.
And it's really hard to teach yoga, and I think to lead a transformational class when you are dysregulated and when you feel like crap. So for me, like, that is my accountability to feeling good. I felt it on my heart to share like the permission that you don't have to have this one huge thing that you're after. I think that's okay. And giving yourself permission to let it change each season.
Yeah.
Like, maybe the dream is multiple different things within your lifetime, and that's okay.
Yeah. Some people get stuck on like one thing, and if they don't ever accomplish it, they're like sad about it. And I think that's wonderful permission to give. You said something about like pointing your target at something. And I wrote down from an intention setting class, like, you point your compass in a direction. And then she said, kind of like, take yourself on a journey. Like, you're headed north, but like, you're going to be on this path that's going to weave, like True Path with Andrea Stone too. Like, you're on this path that's weaving, you're headed north, but like, life is going to keep happening. You're going to go west, you're going to go east. Maybe you turn around a little bit, you go south, and you're like, well, don't want to go that direction. I want to go back north. But it's like kind of letting go of this perfectionist straight path that has to happen as fast as possible to north, because north never ends. You just keep going north, like, it's kind of like that. Instead of it being like this target you have to hit, like, let it be a compass that you're trying to go in that direction towards peace. You're trying to go in that direction towards a regulated nervous system. And of course, things are going to ramp you up, because you're going to lose loved ones or lose your job or whatever. You could fill in the blank with bad things. We don't need to keep doing that. But like, let it weave.
Yeah.
And let go of how perfect it needs to be, how efficient it needs to be, how fast it needs to be. You know what I mean? That was something I took away from Kripalu too.
That. Yeah. It's like, let it be messy and let the path unfold each day. Being okay with the messiness. What is perfect anyways?
Right.
Doesn't really exist.
Right.
Trying to find it. You can't.
Nope.
All right. 3 gold stars. My first, let's go every other.
Okay.
Well, we could split the last one.
Okay.
My first one would be sit with the season you're in. Just sit with it. Find compassion for yourself, reflection. Like, maybe fully owning the season you're in is the first step to getting out of it and to figuring out what is that next step where you want to go.
Number 2 would be Find true silence and breathe in it. Nothing. No sound, no screen, nothing. Even if it's uncomfortable, even if it's 5 minutes, and breathe. If you have to put your hand on your belly, one hand on your heart, sometimes that helps me. And just see how you can get your belly to raise, create space. Did an exercise where you're inhaling and you're thinking of that air going down to the very bottom of your lungs and expanding before it comes back up. You're visualizing it. At least 5 minutes, as often as you can.
Every day. 5 minutes a day. Just see what happens. Mm-hmm. Okay, throw a gold star. I'll start it, you finish.
Okay.
Don't forget that
you are worth taking the time to decide what you want and going after it.
Ooh. Okay. I think for the piece of gold today, you should read a passage from your journal.
From my journal?
At your little yoga retreat.
What do we got in here? Okay. I did with Yuval, the dance yoga spirited male. I don't even know what to call this guy. I love you, Yuval. I love you. He said, he was talking about, so just a little bit of background on this. He was talking about chakras. He was talking about all different energies throughout your body when you're meditating in each chakra. Very different thing. I've never done anything like this in my life. But he talked a lot about each chakra. He talked about yoga. He talked about the history of Ayurvedic medicine and practices, all kinds of things. And then he was saying, this is a lot of information, this is a lot, but he kept bringing it back to self. And he said, only you can use your understanding to determine what you need. This is Gold Ivy signing off.
Listen to your truth and go chase your gold. We want to thank you and encourage you to celebrate yourself for taking the time to learn and get inspired in your one beautiful life. And if this podcast means something to you, it would mean so much to us if you'd be willing to take 30 seconds to help support our mission to keep bringing you inspiring stories and guests.
First, following the podcast is important because it helps you never miss an episode. To do this, just go to the Ivy Unleashed podcast show page on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts, and then just tap the plus sign in the upper right-hand corner or click on follow.
While you're there, if you'd be so kind to give us a 5-star rating and review and share your favorite episode with a friend, we'd be so grateful for your support.
We are thrilled you're here and are so happy that you're taking time to prioritize your wellness, self-discovery, and growth with us. Additionally, we want to remind you that this podcast is presented solely for educational and entertainment purposes. We are not licensed therapists, and this podcast is not intended as a substitute for the advice of a physician, professional coach, psychotherapist, or other qualified professionals.